There is a common belief that when the first hard frost arrives, the garden is put to sleep. We tidy away our tools, retreat indoors with a cup of tea, and wait for the first signs of spring to stir us back into action. It is a quiet time, a period of rest for both the gardener and the garden. The vibrant colors of summer and autumn fade into a palette of browns and grays, and the ground becomes hard and unyielding. We look out upon a landscape that seems frozen in time, believing that all life has paused, waiting for the warmth of the sun to return and signal the grand reawakening. This annual retreat from the garden is a ritual for many of us, a well-earned break after a long season of sowing, planting, and harvesting. However, this perception of a dormant garden, while comforting, is not entirely true. It is a surface-level observation that misses the subtle, yet powerful processes continuing just out of sight. We see the frozen leaves, the bare branches, and the stiff, frosted lawn, and we assume all activity has ceased. It is easy to think that the vital work of growth and decay has been suspended until kinder weather returns, but the garden never truly sleeps. It simply changes its rhythm, shifting its energy from the visible world of flowers and foliage to the hidden world beneath the soil. The end of the growing season is not an ending at all, but rather a transition into a different, quieter phase of the garden's life cycle. My own understanding of this began one particularly cold November, years ago. I had a mountain of fallen leaves, crisp and frozen from a week of bitter frosts. My instinct was to simply leave them, to deal with them in the spring. It seemed pointless to try and start a new compost heap when the world outside was so cold. Surely, I thought, nothing could possibly happen in such conditions. The very idea of decomposition felt like a summer activity, one that required warmth and sunshine. I believed, as many gardeners do, that composting was a task to be set aside along with the lawnmower, a job for the warmer, more active months of the year. But a gardener's curiosity is a persistent thing. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was missing an opportunity. These leaves, this wonderful carbon-rich material, felt too valuable to simply ignore. On a whim, I decided to challenge my own assumptions and build a compost heap anyway, right in the teeth of the coming winter. I gathered those frozen, rustling leaves and decided to see what would happen. It felt like a foolish experiment, a gesture of hope against the certainty of the cold. Little did I know that I was about to uncover one of the garden's most generous secrets, a process that would change my approach to the winter months forever. The surprising truth is that the soil and the compost heap are teeming with life, even in the depths of winter. While the surface may be frozen solid, just a few inches down, a hidden world continues its work. The engine of this activity is a vast community of microorganisms, bacteria and fungi, that are the true powerhouses of decomposition. Many of these tiny organisms are incredibly resilient. They generate their own heat as they break down organic matter, creating a core of warmth within the compost pile that insulates them from the external cold. It is a self-sustaining system, a pocket of biological activity humming away beneath a blanket of frost. Earthworms, too, play their part, though their role changes with the seasons. They are not as active as they are in the mild, damp days of spring, but they do not simply disappear. Instead, they burrow deeper into the ground, or into the center of the compost heap, seeking out those warmer pockets where the microbial action is most intense. There, they continue to feed and process organic material, albeit at a slower pace. You might not see them wriggling on the surface, but they are there, contributing to the creation of rich, fertile soil. They are the silent partners in this winter endeavor, working tirelessly in the dark. This brings us to the frozen leaves themselves, which are far from being inert garden waste. In fact, freezing provides a tremendous head start for the composting process. When the water inside the leaves' cell walls freezes, it expands, forming ice crystals that rupture the tough cellular structure. This process is called cell lysis, and it essentially does the work of shredding for you. When the leaves eventually thaw inside the warmer core of your compost heap, they are already broken down and incredibly soft. Their structure has been compromised, making them immediately accessible to the hungry microbes and fungi waiting to begin their feast. So, rather than being a hindrance, the frost is your ally. It tenderizes the leaves, preparing them for rapid decomposition. What looks like a pile of useless frozen debris is actually a pre-prepared banquet for your compost's microbial workforce. This is why winter is secretly a brilliant time for composting. You are harnessing a natural process to do much of the initial hard work for you. By understanding this, you can turn what seems like a barren season into one of the most productive times for building the future health of your garden soil. It is a simple shift in perspective, but one with profound results. Creating a successful winter compost heap is all about getting the right ingredients and building it with insulation in mind. Think of it not as a pile, but as a layered cake designed to generate and retain warmth. First, you will need your browns. The frozen leaves are perfect for this. They are rich in carbon and provide the main fuel source. You will also need a good supply of greens. These are nitrogen-rich materials that kickstart the heating process. Kitchen scraps are ideal for this: uncooked vegetable peelings, coffee grounds, and tea bags. Avoid cooked food, meat, or dairy, as these can attract unwanted pests. Having a good balance, roughly 2 parts brown to 1 part green, is the key. The structure itself should be built directly on bare earth if possible. This allows worms and other beneficial organisms from the soil to migrate up into the pile. Start with a thick base layer of twiggy material, about 6 inches deep. Broken branches or woody prunings are perfect for this. This initial layer ensures good air circulation at the bottom of the heap, which is vital for the aerobic bacteria that you want to encourage. Without air, the pile can become a slimy, smelly, anaerobic mess. This foundation is the first and most crucial step in building a healthy, active winter compost system. Now, begin your layering. On top of your twiggy base, add a generous layer of your frozen leaves, your browns. Next, add a thinner layer of your green materials, such as the kitchen scraps. It is important to mix these ingredients as you go. You are not making a perfectly striped lasagna. You want the materials to be in close contact with one another. After adding the greens, it is good practice to add a sprinkling of something to help get things going. This could be a spadeful of finished compost from a previous batch, or even just a bit of good garden soil. This acts as an activator, introducing a healthy population of microbes right from the start. Continue building up these layers of browns and greens until your heap is at least 1 meter high and 1 meter wide. This size is critical in winter. A smaller pile will lose heat too quickly and will not be able to sustain the core temperature needed for active decomposition. As you build, water each layer lightly, just enough to make it feel like a damp sponge. The final and perhaps most important step is insulation. Cover the entire heap with a thick blanket of straw, old carpet, or a layer of cardboard. This traps the heat being generated inside and protects the pile from the worst of the winter wind, rain, and snow. Once your winter compost heap is built and insulated, the magic begins almost immediately, even if the air outside is biting. In the first 24 to 48 hours, the nitrogen-rich green materials will start to break down rapidly. This initial burst of activity is driven by fast-acting bacteria that consume the most easily accessible sugars and proteins. As they work, they release energy in the form of heat. This is the spark that lights the furnace. The insulation you have carefully placed over the heap traps this initial warmth, preventing it from escaping into the cold air and allowing the internal temperature to begin its steady climb. Within the first 3 to 4 days, you should notice the first tangible sign that your pile is working. If you brave the cold and carefully lift a corner of the insulating cover, you may see steam rising from the surface of the heap. This is an excellent sign. It is visible proof that the core temperature is rising significantly. If you have a compost thermometer, Now is the time to use it. Plunge it into the center of the pile, and you may be astonished to find a reading of 50 to 65 degrees Celsius, even while the outside temperature is near freezing. This heat is the heartbeat of your compost, a clear signal that the microbial community is thriving. As you approach the end of the first week, the heap may start to settle and shrink in size. This is another positive indication. It means the materials are breaking down and compacting as the microorganisms consume them. The frozen leaves, now thawed in the warm core, will have become soft and started to lose their structure. The various layers you built will begin to merge, and the distinct separation between browns and greens will become less apparent. The entire mass will start its slow transformation from a collection of individual ingredients into a more homogeneous, earthy-smelling mixture. At this stage, your main job is simply to observe and let the process unfold. Resist the temptation to turn the pile. In summer, we turn compost regularly to aerate it, but in winter, turning it would release all the precious trapped heat that the microbes have worked so hard to generate. This would stall the process completely. For now, the initial structure you built, with its twiggy base for aeration, is sufficient. Your role is that of a guardian, ensuring the insulating blanket remains in place and protecting the delicate, warm ecosystem you have initiated from the harshness of the winter weather. As winter progresses, the intense heat in the core of the pile will gradually subside as the most easily digestible materials are consumed. The heap will then enter a slower, cooler phase of decomposition, dominated by fungi and different types of bacteria that work on breaking down the tougher, more fibrous materials like the carbon-rich leaves. This curing phase is just as important as the initial hot stage. By the time the first snowdrops begin to push through the soil in early spring, your winter compost will be a dark, crumbly, semi-finished product. It may still have some recognizable leaves or twigs in it, but it will be rich with microbial life. This partially finished compost is an incredibly valuable resource for waking up the spring garden. You can use it as a thick mulch around emerging perennials, shrubs, and fruit trees. As the soil warms, the decomposition process will continue in situ, slowly releasing a steady supply of nutrients directly to the plant roots. This mulch also does a wonderful job of suppressing early spring weeds and, crucially, conserving moisture in the soil as the weather becomes drier. It is like giving your garden a nutritious breakfast to help it start the new growing season with energy and vigor. For those gardening in extremely cold climates where temperatures plummet for long periods, a few adjustments can make all the difference. Make your pile even larger, perhaps 1.5 meters high and wide, to provide more self-insulation. You can also build your heap inside a wooden compost bin or one made from recycled pallets, which provides an extra layer of protection against biting winds. Increasing the thickness of your insulating layer of straw or cardboard is also a wise precaution. The goal remains the same, to protect that precious core temperature for as long as possible to give the microbes a fighting chance against the extreme cold. I wholeheartedly encourage you to embrace this process. Do not let the cold put you off. Making compost in winter is not just a practical way to deal with fallen leaves. It is a profound act of faith in the resilience of nature. It connects you to the garden's quiet, hidden rhythms, and rewards you with black gold that will breathe life and health into your soil. By turning winter's waste into spring's treasure, you are actively participating in the garden's cycle of renewal. So, this year, as the frosts descend, build a winter heap. You will be amazed at the life that can spring from the coldest, darkest days.